So I hope that you don't make the same mistake that I made, or that you're able not to make the mistake that I made of going back to work too soon. Because I went back to work too soon because before I was able to recover enough to be able to be active and to move. And hindsight, I think I should have gone back. Um, and not had accelerated the number of hours I was working per week so quickly, and maybe had done a more prolonged kind of trickle into getting back to full time. Because what happened was I rushed back to work and ended up not having the energy and the time to do my physical and speech therapy and visual therapy and neurotherapy exercises. And I believe that led to prolonging my recovery and maybe even possibly leading to residual symptoms that I still have today. So I do, if you can, um, try to return to work more slowly, and when doing so, making the decision to go back and increase your hours over time is to find that balance between uh, being able to exercise, do your rehab exercises and therapies, and being able to be an effective employee while you're at work. And again, you're going to have to figure out what that balance is, and I really hope that you have the ability to do that, because that's going to be really important, especially early in your recovery. I mean, if you can just get those brain processes online and moving in the right direction early in your recovery, it's going to certainly support more. I don't want to say rapid, but a faster. I don't even want to say faster, because that could be very misleading, but it can support the best potential healing at the time that early into your recovery, and hopefully prevent any long-term residual deficits when you're getting down the line of your recoveries, such as me. I'm at 10 years, and I still have some residual issues with fatigue and the balance issues. I want to impress upon you to try to make those rehab exercises a priority, and that it to consider the option of maybe just returning to work slowly, more of a trickle effect, like 2 hours a day for 2 days a week and so forth, until you slowly build back with a balance to your regular hours prior to your injury. So, how to get back to starting to be active after your brain injury? And I've talked a little bit about this previously in these videos. And one of them, I'm just going to reiterate that you should check with your general practitioner, your physical therapist, occupational therapist, your neurotherapist, your visual therapist before any brain injury specialist before starting exercise. Don't do what Kelly did. I just started exercising, and I think I worsened my recovery, then helped it. So check with your specialist first. And then you want to start out safe and slow. And so previously I talked about avoiding high impact sports. So starting off with just things like yoga, walking, swimming, that kind of thing. And then if you're somebody who's like, before their brain injury, you were really super sedentary and you never really exercised before, you may be wondering, well, how do I start? And so this is for you. So what I normally would tell my patients who were very sedentary was first start with just walking. And it's best to walk outside, because you not only get the exercise benefit, but the brain also loves being outside and in nature. And when I say in nature, that could be simply a sidewalk with trees, to going to a park, to going on a hike. But early in your recovery or your exercise journey, you're not going to be out hiking in a national forest. So all you need to do is just walk 5 minutes out your door and 5 minutes back. And that makes a total of 10 minutes of exercise, that walking, of being active. And you'll want to make a goal initially of 1 to 2 days a week. And then as the weeks go by, so the next week, if you feel good and didn't have any issues, then you would try to expand that to 15 minutes 2 days a week, or 15 minutes 3 days a week. So you see the slow trickle of just adding on as you tolerate, but increase slowly. Now, if you do get to the point where you did a 20-minute walk, and you come back and you're totally exhausted, then you may have pushed that limit. Just go back to your 15-minute walk for 2 or 3 more weeks and then try it again. So y'all, when you're exercising, you'll want to monitor for those brain injury symptoms. That's how your brain is telling you you're doing too much. So if you develop brain injury symptoms, back off. And you'll want to pace yourself. So when you start exercise, you don't want to just start where you were prior to your injury. You want to start out slow. Um, and when you finish your exercise, you should feel more energized and your muscles should feel relaxed. Like I said, you shouldn't feel totally exhausted when you're done. So then you're just going to have to find a balance between um, pushing yourself and not overdoing it. And that can be kind of tricky to kind of figure out, but over time you'll figure it out. And, I used to journal a lot. I still do journal a lot. What am I talking about? But I journal, and if something's too much, I note it and I back off, or I look at what triggered me to have a episode of regression, note it, and then strategize how to prevent that again. And so then I would just try to fall back on what I had done before for exercise, give it a couple more weeks, and then try to push it again later down the road, like I said. But the thing is that the brain loves to be in a routine, to stay in a rut. It loves being sedentary. It will beg and plead with you to please stay on the couch with that cup of coffee and your favorite book. But you can't let it do that. When you want it to heal and get better and get stronger, you have to push it out of its comfort zone. And so that can be really hard, but realize that when you do push you and your brain out of that comfort zone, you're pushing it to heal and get better and get stronger.